Hi everybody, and welcome to English 2. I'm Erin Fujinami, your instructor, and this is our first lecture. So you'll have recorded lectures like this one each week. You can watch them at whatever time you would like that works for you, but you will need to watch your lectures before you complete certain assignments and things like that. So get used to having some time to do the readings and watching the lectures before you do things like submit discussions. So today we're going to go over our syllabus. The first thing that you need to know about the syllabus is where to find it. So if you go to the Welcome module on Canvas, you can click on the syllabus right here, and it should open up for you. See if my computer wants to cooperate. There we go. So this is our syllabus. And I'm just going to try and briefly go over everything that you need to know that we would normally go over on the first day of class if we were in person. As with anything else though, if I go over something and it doesn't make sense or you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with me to ask any of those questions that you would like. All right, so first of all, we are in English 2. This is the CRN number. Make sure that you're in the correct class, and if you're not, let me know. Meeting times, we're only meeting online, and our class is what's called asynchronous. Sorry. So that means that we don't have any set meeting times where we are all chatting together on Zoom or something like that. Instead, you have assignments that are due each week, and you have recorded lectures like this one, and you're also in groups, which we'll talk about. And from there, it's sort of up to you how you go about and complete your assignments. So we do not have any set meeting times. However, we do have due dates for your assignments. So you can work at your own pace, but you do have set due dates every week where things are due. So assignments are always due Wednesdays and Fridays by 11:59 p.m. And if we're writing an essay, then your essay draft is going to be due on a Monday by 11:59 p.m. And then lectures are all pre-recorded and you can watch them at whatever time works for you. Information about me, that's my name, Erin Fujinami. I use this app called Remind, and I would like you to join that, join our class on Remind. And that's an easy way for me to communicate with students and for you to communicate with me. You can enroll in our class by texting at COS English to 81010 and then following the directions there. It's a free app and it will get you enrolled into our class on Remind. You can also email me, so erinf@cos.edu, and then you can also email me in the Canvas inbox, which is right here. So any of those ways to reach me work. I have office hours by appointment on Zoom, so if you would like to see me about anything, then go ahead and let me know that you'd like to make a Zoom appointment, and we can do that. Okay, so basic course information. Textbooks, we have one textbook that you need to get for this class. It's called Everything's an Argument, and it's the 7th edition. You can get it online. There's an ebook, I believe there's like a Kindle edition, and it shouldn't cost you more than maybe $15. It's a pretty affordable textbook. So go ahead and get a copy of that as soon as you're able to. We will be using it pretty often. If you don't have access to it right away, right when we're getting started, I would definitely recommend asking a group member if they have access and can maybe share with you via screenshots or something while you're waiting on yours to arrive or while you're waiting on being able to purchase yours. We also have additional readings that are on Canvas, but those will be like links and PDFs and things like that. Okay. Required materials, you need to have access to Canvas. You need to also get familiar with Canvas, so if you're not yet, please go ahead and look at the tutorials that I have given you. Those are available in the module that I just showed you at the beginning of this lecture, the Welcome to English 2 module, and use those tutorials to get more familiar with Canvas. You also need something to write with. I recommend having a notebook that's just for this class and kind of keeping your notes all together, either on paper or in a digital format like a, file on your Google Drive or something like that. Highlighters, you will need to be annotating different text, and you can do that on paper or you can do that digitally with an app or something like that. Just make sure that you're able to annotate various texts. These two don't really apply because we're not meeting in person. The catalog description and course outcomes are available here in the syllabus. And that just sort of gives you some background on why we do the assignments that we do so that you can meet these different outcomes by the end of the course. Grading and assignments. So we will have small writing assignments that make up 350 points for class throughout the semester. And then you have the big essays. We're writing 3 essays. The final drafts are worth 100, 100, and 200 points. We have quizzes and exams scattered throughout the semester. That's worth 150 points, and then a final exam worth 100. So the total possible is right about 1,000 points. This might vary slightly, but usually it's pretty close to 1,000. So final grading, if you have a 90% and above, that's an A, 80 to 89% is a B, and so on. So then we've got some descriptions here of what those different types of assignments kind of look like. So the small writing assignments, this is that section that's worth 350 points of class. And this is just your everyday kind of homework and what would be like classwork assignments. And remember that all of these are online. So you'll have short things that you are supposed to respond to after doing your readings or after watching lectures or both. So these are the things that are due each week. You'll usually have 2 of them, and they're due on Wednesdays and Fridays. Quizzes and exams. We have quizzes and exams that are sort of scattered throughout the semester. So rather than having like one big midterm or something like that, you have 5 quizzes throughout the semester and 4 exams. Quizzes are worth 10 points, exams are worth 25, and then the final exam is worth 100. Usually exams and quizzes are multiple choice. Sometimes they are short answer, and they are timed. So for quizzes, you'll have 10 minutes, and for exams, you have 50. All of these are due along with your other online work, and they're typically due on Wednesdays and Fridays. The only exception is the final exam might be due on a different day, but I believe it's due on a Wednesday. Essays and writing as a process. So make sure that you're okay with writing drafts of essays and then revising them and then turning them in again for a grade. So the way that I do essays for our class is that for your essay draft, you automatically get an A for effort. That means that if you turn in your essay draft on time and it is the number of pages that I've asked for, you automatically get the full credit, which is 25 points. After that, I'll give everybody a little bit of written feedback, and you'll have a chance to revise in groups, online, of course. And then you'll also need to revise and turn in your final draft later in that week. So your draft will be due on a Monday. You'll get some feedback from me probably the next day on Tuesday, and then you'll have a workshop on Wednesday, and you'll turn in your final draft on Friday. So making sure that you are okay with that and, kind of embracing the process and being willing to write a draft and then change it and make it better is an important part of class. So that brings us to course policies. The attendance policy is important, especially for a short-term class. So if you're absent without explanation during the first 4 classes before the drop date, you might be dropped for non-attendance. Since we're an online class, not doing your work is how I constitute an absence. So for instance, if you're enrolled in the class but you don't do any work for the first week, you're missing 2 different due dates, right? So you're missing 2 different days of class. So if for some reason you cannot complete your work within the first couple weeks of class before the drop date, then you just need to make sure that you let me know that you do want to stay in the class so that I don't drop you. Definitely try not to miss, assignments and whatnot, but of course these things happen. So if that happens, then just let me know that you do want to stay enrolled, and that way I will save your spot and not, drop you and then give your spot to somebody who's on the wait list. If for whatever reason you decide that this course just isn't the best fit for you right now, that's totally fine. And you need to be aware of these dates. So you've got the last day to add classes, drop with a refund, drop without a W, and drop with a W. So all of those dates are available here for you to consider. If you do decide to stop coming to class, please make sure that you drop the course, so that if I didn't get to you in time or I didn't drop you, because I thought that you wanted to stay in, you don't stay enrolled while you're not doing the work. Because then what happens is we get to the end of the semester and I have to assign you a letter grade, and that's what we want to avoid. So if you are planning on dropping the class, make sure you do that officially. Okay, makeup and late work. I don't accept late work unless there's like a genuine emergency, which I get, happens. So if something like that happens and that's why you couldn't submit your work, just get in touch with me and let me know, and we will work something out. However, if you are conveniently having, quote, emergencies, every time work is due, then I might start to question the authenticity of those emergencies and decide not to accept any more work from you. But if it's a legitimate emergency, then just let me know. Otherwise, if you miss an assignment, you just miss that assignment. However, we have enough assignments throughout the semester that missing one or two isn't going to, destroy your grade. They're only worth 10 points here and there. Missing big essays, that will hurt you a lot, so do your best not to miss those. And if you have something that comes up that is going to prevent you from being able to turn in your work, talk to me if it is something that couldn't be avoided. If your work schedule changed or your kid got sick or something is going on in your life that is causing you to not be able to focus on class, you can always ask me for extra time. Worst case scenario, I'll say no. But most of the time, if it's not a habit for you, I'll just give you the extra time and it's not a big deal. Another thing that you can do, since I don't accept late work, is you have this one-time opportunity in the semester to turn in something late or to resubmit an assignment, and that's called the plea. So here's how it works. Within 1 week of a missed assignment, 2 days for short-term classes, so that's you guys, we're a short-term class, you need to contact me to talk about making up that missed assignment without penalty. So let's say you forget an exam or you were confused about a due date and you didn't turn in an essay draft, okay? Then you just get in touch, say, hey, I'd like to use my plea, and we will figure out the dates and we'll set that up so that you can do that. However, once you've used your plea, you can't use it again. So, use it wisely. The plea does kind of have an expiration date. You can't use it once we start work on our final essay, which is essay 3. And there's no benefit to saving it. So I definitely recommend using it at some point if you need to. So I don't accept late work. You can ask for extra time, and you do have a one-time chance to sort of just, mess up, miss a date, do something like that. So the plea is there for you. Some notes about technology use. Number 1, we use Canvas extensively. So please make sure that you get the app if you would like to, or have a way to access that on, a laptop or a tablet, whatever you're using for class, and familiarize yourself with its features. Talk to me or a peer for help if you need help getting started, but make sure that you're getting used to all of the things that have to do with Canvas. There's another lecture also that shows you some of the things that we're using on Canvas as well, so I definitely recommend watching that. And then again, take a look at those tutorials if you need to. Your student email, make sure you're checking your student email for important announcements, reminders, etc. The Remind app, please make sure that you're enrolled in our class on the Remind app so that I can reach you there. If you're not sure how to do that, again, here are the directions. You're going to text at COS English to 81010, and then that's going to get you enrolled in our class. Zoom, we use Zoom to meet virtually, but that's only as needed. So if you would like to request a meeting with me via Zoom, you can. Again, we do not have any set scheduled times where the whole class meets on Zoom. However, if you'd like to set up a Zoom meeting to work in groups, or if you'd like to set up a Zoom meeting to chat with me, you can definitely do that. Video lectures like this one, so you'll need to access our lectures on video throughout the semester. Links are always posted in each week's module on Canvas, and you can watch them at your own pace throughout the week. They're on YouTube, so you should have pretty easy access to the video lectures. Collaboration and community in the classroom. Since we are not meeting in person, and this is a big part of my classes, I have put everybody into groups, so I'll talk about that in just a bit, but you have groups that you have been put in from the beginning of the semester, and you're responsible for contacting and then working with your group virtually throughout the semester. It's really important that you have sort of at least a few people that you know in class, and you guys can kind of rely on each other. You can work on assignments together, and I definitely encourage you to work with your groups. You can also get some extra credit for working in your groups. So make sure that you're getting in touch with your groups and, working with each other throughout the semester to help each other out with assignments. This part doesn't apply to us because we're online. Academic integrity, that definitely does apply to you. So make sure that you're not using somebody else's work. This is a problem for one or two people here and there most semesters, but out of all of my classes, usually it's not. But please don't plagiarize. I will find out. It will be an uncomfortable conversation. You'll get an F on the assignment, and it's just not worth it. So if you're having a hard time with an essay, for example, it's much better to ask me for extra time or to get help with it than it is to try and, use somebody else's work. So don't do that. Accommodations for students with disabilities. If you have any sort of accommodations that you need, please let me know right away so that I can get you everything that you need in order for you to be successful in class. Okay, extra help. So there are a whole bunch of resources that I've gathered here to help you with succeeding in class. The first one is tutoring. So I definitely recommend going to tutoring as much as possible throughout the semester. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dog barking in the background, but that's one of my dogs being super obnoxious this morning. Okay, so tutoring. You can go to tutoring even though campus is closed. So we do have virtual tutoring available, and you can get information about that here. I do offer extra credit for tutoring. So keep track if you do go to tutoring, and you'll get extra credit for that at the end of the semester. You can earn 10 points for each session you attend, and you can earn up to a total of 50 points of tutoring for that. 50 points of extra credit for going to tutoring. So definitely go and get help with your assignments, with your essays, and so on. And then there's other links here in the syllabus to help you get, things that you might need here and there. So the single sign-on, this is where you sign on to access everything that you need from Canvas to your student email. Canvas support is available here, so if you have any issues with Canvas, go ahead and contact them so that they can help you troubleshoot those. There's a link to the bookstore, the library, and student services, all sorts of useful things for the semester. Also, There's some links here to help you with life beyond the classroom, especially with everything going on in our world right now. You might need some extra help, and please take advantage of all of these things that we have available to students, even though we're only doing virtual classes right now. So here's a link to things about health and wellness and food resources. So all kinds of helpful stuff. So that brings us to the schedule of classes. We'll go over the schedule, and I will tell you all about how to read it and how our class is organized and all of that good stuff. So this is our schedule of classes. The first column lists the week number and the date. This is important for Canvas because our class is organized by modules. So every week, the very first thing that you should do is go to the modules page. The modules page is kind of our home base on Canvas, and it's going to give you everything that you need for that week. So it'll have everything from a weekly schedule to all of your readings and lectures and things like that, all in one place, and that is in that weekly module. So make sure that you're checking modules right at the beginning of the week. The second column lists things to do, read, and watch throughout the week. All of this will be inside of the weekly module. So it'll tell you what to read. It will give you any links that you need. Links to the lectures will be there. Assignments will be listed there. All of that good stuff. And then the last column lists reminders and due dates. So this is how you'll know when things are due. Oh, sorry, my dogs are going crazy. Sorry about that. My dogs were going crazy. So back to the schedule of classes. So the first column tells us the date in the week. The second one tells us readings and assignments. And then that last column is just a list of reminders and due dates. This is one place to look to know when assignments are due each week. So if you look at the schedule, you can see that the first week starts on the 31st and goes through the 4th. Readings for the week are Everything's an Argument, pages 1 through 84. You have 2 lectures, the Syllabus Overview and then a Canvas Overview. We have 2 discussions, and then you have 1 quiz. This is an extra credit quiz. So this is everything that needs to be done this week. Discussion 1 is due Wednesday, and then discussion 2 is due Friday. This is about Everything's an Argument. I just didn't write it all out, so it'll say, EAO. And then when you go and click on the actual discussions, then you'll see a lot more, detailed instructions. But this just tells you which one is due when. And then you also have your first quiz due Friday. If you look at the schedule of classes, you can see that everything that we're doing from now until the end of the semester is all listed here. So you can go to any week that you would like to, and you can see what we're reading that week. What's due, if it's discussions, exams, and so on. So you can definitely look ahead and go find out when things like essays are due, for example. So let's say I wanted to go and find out when my first essay is due. Then I would go and look through here and see, okay, so in week 4, which is the 20th through the 25th, I have my essay 1 rough draft and final draft due. And then here I can see the due dates also, right? So the essay 1 draft is due that Monday, and then the final draft is due that Friday. So you can look ahead and see when everything is due. And like I said, everything all the way through the end of the semester is listed for you here. Okay, so that is our syllabus. Let me just scroll back up. So again, if you need to get in touch with me at all, you can email me here, you can use the Canvas inbox, or you can text me on Remind. Using Remind is probably the best way to get a hold of me because you'll get a quicker response. And then if it's email, give me, I would say, at least 24 to maybe 48 hours, depending on how busy I am that particular week, to get back to you. But I will get back to you within, a day or two. On Remind, I typically am able to get back to you the same day. However, with all of these things, make sure that you're aware that if you contact me after business hours, right? So after about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, then I sign off until the next morning. If it's a weekend or a holiday, then allow extra time because I won't be, accessing my work emails on the weekends or on the holidays. So give me some extra time if that's the case. Remember to let me know if you'd like to meet via Zoom and to get started on your first week's assignment.